Hello everyone. So today I am recording this legal and regulatory framework, which is unit 4 of your mutual fund distributor 5 exam. The motive behind this is for your revision and upgrade yourself and learn and revise at home. The weightage of this chapter is 10 marks and this is only for educational purpose. Those who have taken my class and are studying in BIBS, this is more fruitful for them because they have attended. Others might also use it, but restricted only to EIBS programs. Okay, so legal and regulatory framework. So what before I jump into this chapter, I told you in advance what you need to consider. What are the things you will cover in this chapter? So that when you give your exam in MC's forms or any answers you need to give in exam, you are prepared in advance that what could be the answer. So what should be your approach to this? So you should know the entire content of this chapter. If something related to mutual fund regulation 1996 has come, for example, it must come to your mind that it is connected to this chapter. Okay. So if you want to know what is in details, so I'm just recapping it and you should keep in your mind. So this chapter contains role of regulators in India. So there are four regulators which is described here. There are many regulators in India, but for our purpose, for mutual fund, there are four regulators names are given and we have to remember that. What are the four regulators? Obviously, we'll come to that, but I'm discussing in advance. To regulate capital market, SEBI is there. To regulate money market, RBI is there. So these two you should know. There is PFRDA for pension, IRDAI for insurance. These two names are given, but not so much relevant for our exam perspective, insurance and pension. But you should know SEBI and you should know RBI and not the entire act and law of RBI, but the things which have been a part of money market. Okay. So RBI controls the money market, so you should know something about RBI clauses and laws which are connected to money market. So there are four regulators which we talk about in this chapter. Role of SEBI. So it is said SEBI regulates many things like amalgamation and various other liquidation. But for us, since we are studying mutual fund, we will restrict our things to mutual fund. So SEBI, it is also given in your textbook, and when you will go through the content or through MV website, it will say SEBI regulates many, but it includes like credit rating agencies, it regulates, for example, registrar and transfer agent, custodian. So you all know these are the part of mutual fund. Okay. So they regulate sponsor, they regulate AMC. Okay. They regulate distributor. So SEBI regulates all this. Obviously, we come to this content. I'm just discussing what are the content of this chapter. So SEBI mutual fund regulation is deeply discussed in this because the chapter name is legal and regulatory framework. So obviously, if you go through this, so you have to study what SEBI Mutual Fund Regulation 1996. There are 19 points jotted down, and it is covered in entire of your subject, right? Mutual fund distribution, your certification program. Every point is there somewhere in your out of your 12 units. Okay, so that is been updated in this chapter. Next, we will study in this chapter is investors restrictions. General restrictions are there, restrictions relating to debt instruments, restrictions relating to equity instruments. Hope you could recall something, general restriction like sponsors, mutual fund AMC cannot invest in sponsors if they're in list, if they are privately placed or ventures, but they can invest in listed up to 25%. So sponsors things AMC can invest, but up to 25%. So we'll come to that. Okay, so general restrictions are there. The restriction relating to debt instrument, that is 10% something. Will come. Hope you could recall. Yes, yes. Perfect. So equity restrictions are there. REITs and INVITs restrictions are there. These are covered in this chapter. SEBI advertisement code, like it should be fair, transparent, 14 words in 5 second maximum. Okay, mutual fund are subject to please read the schematic document before entering into it. Such type of things are there. Okay, so disclosure performance is also there, like scheme, fund manager. So scheme disclosure, fund manager disclosure should be given. Okay, investors' rights and obligation. Hope you could recall. Yes, yes, nominee, three nominee you can appoint. Okay, distributor, you can change your distributor. You don't need NOC. Okay, you unit holders have such power they can terminate AMC, they can terminate some scheme, 75% obviously that vote is required. So fundamental attribute is changed. So that should be informed. and investors should have an option, or unit holders should have an option to exit within how many days? 30. Perfect. Within 30 days without exit load. Perfect. Without exit load. Newspaper advertisement. Yes. So you could recall. Obviously, we'll come to that, then you will understand. It might take two videos to make you understand this, 30 minutes max, and I will restrict to that. Okay. Investors' rights and obligation I discussed. So next is due diligence by AMC. Okay. So AMC also do due diligence of regulators and distributors. Okay. Scores, complaint. So obviously, if you have any legal and complaint, SCORS, yes, SEBI complaint redress system. Perfect. Score is there set up so that investors of mutual fund can go. There are many investors. We will restrict to mutual fund investors. Okay. So we are talking related things connected to mutual fund. AMFI. So Agni, there is a AMFI guidelines and norms for intermediaries. So these are the chapters which are covered in this. These are the topics, sorry. These are the topics which is covered in this chapter. So we will cover this. So you could see what are the topics we will be covering: role of regulators, role of Security Exchange Board of India. But you will find it's not discussing role of Security Exchange Board of India. But after that also we have something to cover. Investors restriction, yes, general restriction. Okay. Equity, debt, REITs, INVITs restrictions. Yes, these are there. SEBI advertisement code is there. It is not written here, but you have to know. Okay. Disclosure performance, scheme related disclosure performance, fund manager related disclosure has to be given, investors' rights. So this is not written here, but if you go through the contents and in depth of it, you have to study this. Okay. And due diligence, investors' grievances, I told you, score, AMFI, Agni, I told you right now. So these are will be covering. Okay. So regulators of India, very short. There are four regulators given in this textbook for your reference and related to mutual fund. For money market, RBI regulates. For securities market or secondary market, you can say SEBI regulates. For insurance, RDA, IRDAI is there. For pension fund regulatory and development authority of India is there. I'm moving fast because I have already discussed all this and you are aware. Role of Security Exchange Board of India. So there are various roles of SEBI. So should we study everything? No. We will restrict ourselves. But SEBI regulates many others, but mutual fund, depositories, okay, custodian, registrar and transfer agent, credit rating agencies, which is connected to mutual fund, we are focusing. Why SEBI regulates? What is the role of SEBI? To protect the interest of investors, to promote the development of securities market, to regulate the securities market, or any matter connected there. Role of Securities Exchange Board of India is vast for us, mutual fund depository custom. Okay, you have studied in all this. Regulatory reform by SEBI. So what are the reforms brought by SEBI? SEBI said for mutual fund, I am issuing one regulation, SEBI Mutual Fund Regulation 1996. In that law, in that regulation, everything will be covered relating to mutual fund. So what was the objective? Disclosure, efficiency of transaction, low transaction cost, investors protection, control speculation. There should be no insider trading. Excessive risk or excessive expense made by mutual fund can be controlled. So these are things which are covered in mutual fund regulation. And this mutual fund regulation, 19 points. We don't need to study the entire mutual fund regulation. It around 70, 80 pages. Okay. So they have jot down the small brief points of it. We will cover that. And I will discuss something which chapter you will connect to this point and how you could study this. Okay. So different types of mutual fund regulation 1996 category. Scheme related documents. In mutual fund regulation, if you read, there is topic called scheme related document. So we have one unit for this. Okay. That unit is your next chapter, chapter number 5. Yes. Scheme related documents. So you will study over there what is SID, what is SI, what is scheme. Hope you could recall something. We have already covered. SID talks about scheme information document, talks about a particular scheme. SI talks about the entire mutual fund, entire AMC. Scheme is a combination of SID and SI. Okay. And an addendum is also given with scheme if some changes is there. That is called addendum. Okay. So we will study in this chapter about SID, SI, KIM, addendum, upgradation of SID, SI, and KIM. Hope you could remember SID and KIM is to be updated every 6 months. Small documents. Okay. SID and KIM. SI is something covering entire AMC. It is to be annually updated. So upgradation is also there in Unit 6. Or you could recall that chapter also. So it will be helpful right now. So, sir, when we need to upgrade, SID and KIM half yearly basis, financial year in September end, 1 month time is given, 30 days time is given to upgrade it if any changes is there. And SAI is a big document, or you can say constitution of AMC. Okay. So SAI talks about all the scheme, entire AMC. So that is to be upgraded yearly basis on a financial year, obviously. So within 3 months. Okay. So this you will study NAV disclosure and TER, total expense ratio, is to be upgraded daily. NAV is to be upgraded daily before 11 p.m. Yes, perfect. You are right. Yes. Riskometer, everything is discussed in that chapter. What I have done right now, I'm also revising you all the chapters also. Okay. So you just take a hold of everything. Yes, fund fact sheet is not a important mandatory disclosure document, but every AMC prepares it, right? So fund fact sheet is also covered in that chapter. So they are saying that mutual fund regulation talks about that. But we have covered many important aspects in chapter wise. Okay, in this for your exam perspective. Conversion and consolidation of existing scheme. Just giving a small example. Hope you know these words 11, 16, 622. Sir, what is this 11? Categorization, equity 11, debt 16, hybrid 6, retirement scheme 2, others 2. Okay. So these 37 categories are there. Okay. On October 6th, 2017, there was no such categorization. So they used to sell products accordingly so that they can convince the customer, and customers gets confused. So say we have given a category. If you have any scheme to launch, it should be under this 37 categories. Okay, so there was very a merger and consolidation at that time. I have given few example of it. Sir, we will study all this, that 37, yes, chapter number 3. Sir, you have not taught in details. Okay, we'll cover in video also for you. Sir. Okay, so there are schemes, focus fund, oh, you don't know? Actually, good. Yes, I've discussed. Okay, I'm talking chapter 2. Yeah. Risk management system. So you will study risk management system in chapter 10. What is risk adjusted return, something. Okay. Since huge data and sum is involved, the risk management system discussion has been made in SEBI mutual fund regulation. Clear? New products. So obviously regarding new products, when is to be launched, what are the terms and conditions, where to do the filing and all. Okay. New products can be launched or not. Yes, infrastructure debt fund, ESG is very common these days. Okay. So new products is there. Fund of fund is also new thing. Okay. So they can launch. It is given in SEBI mutual fund regulation. Disclosure and reporting norms. Yes, SEBI has to disclose various, AMC has to disclose various facts, things in SID, SAI, KIM. Okay. Governance norm, audit and valuation committee is there. Benchmarking of scheme, how to do. Okay. In the role of independent directors and trustees are there. Okay. So these are there covered in Mutual Fund Regulation 1996. Secondary market activity. So what does the SEBI do? What does the SEBI talks about in mutual fund regulation? That mutual fund regulation, that they should watch the secondary market dealings. No fluctuation of a very high, well, a volatile market is, or it becomes NAV. NAV we have discussed in chapter 7, how to calculate the NAV. Okay. NAV disclosure, cutoff time, I said when to buy, when to sell, which NAV you will be plotted. NAV is disclosed on a daily basis before 11 p.m. Yes. So for buying it, the time is 3 p.m. and 1:30 p.m. Okay. 3 p.m. is in liquid and other instruments is 1:30, 3 p.m. is different. Redemption time is common 3 p.m. Time stamping when you paid it. So everything is captured. Valuation norms, obviously valuation norms SEBI has given, we are discussing point number 9. Yes, you are there. Okay. I'm not angry, I'm just discussing. Okay, good. Okay, good, good. Let's study now. So valuation, SEBI, fair valuation principles. Here, there are 10 principles. Where it has been discussed, chapter number 10, 11. It is. So valuation, say SEBI fair valuations. Okay, there are 10. principles given by SEBI. Okay, fair valuation, how to do a valuation of the equities, debt instrument, or whatever the AMC has purchased. Okay, valuation guidelines by SEBI and MF is also there. Okay, for traded securities, how you will do a valuation. For non-traded securities, how you will do a value. How you will value ounce, gold and silver. How you will collect 31.17. I could recall it. The price is quoted in other markets in London. Okay, that we adapt for valuation of gold, valuation of silver. So these the valuation norms are given. Okay, if there is a fight between SEBI fair valuation principle and valuation guidelines, obviously SEBI fair valuation will prevail, will win. Okay, so this will come. I have not discussed it. We will discuss in the class in due time, in due course. Okay. Loads, fees, and expenses. So there is no entry load. Why? Where it is written, saving mutual fund regulation. There is exit load. If you exit early, there are chances that you can have to pay exit load. Fees are there, expenses are there. Okay, like distributor expense, running expense, administrative expenses are there. Obviously, there's a chapter for this also. What are the type of expenses? Dividend distribution procedure. We are restricting legal and regulatory framework. Dividend distribution process, norms defining the calculation distributable surplus. So how, if you to go with IDCW, right now, income distribution, capital withdrawal. Yeah. So if you choose to dividend payout, if you choose to dividend reinvest, if you go for a growth plan, everything is discussed further in this, in your certification program syllabus. Investment by scheme, where to do the investment. Obviously, if it is, for example, SBI and large cap, so where it will invest? Obviously, in large cap. So restrictions are there. They cannot invest anywhere other than that. Okay. These all things are said in saving mutual fund regulation. For advertisement, in this chapter you will study, in this chapter only you will study SEBI advertisement code. I told you beforehand, 14 words, 5 seconds, fair, transparent. Celebrity endorsement can be done, but they will not promote any scheme or they will not promote any AMC. But MP can promote that mutual fund sahi hai. Two celebrities like Dhoni, Sachin, if you could see in ad. So what are the advertisement code? Obviously, we discuss further in this chapter. It might be in the second video of this chapter or first video, right? Then investors' rights and obligation. This is also discussed in this chapter. I told you in advance. What are your rights? Nominee appoint? Yes. Can you change your distributor? Yes. NOC will be required? No. Can you close down any MC? Yes, 75% vote. Can you close down any scheme? Yes, 75% unit holders must be. So you know all this. Fundamental attributable change, you can uh, opt out of the scheme and there will be no exit charge and you will be given 30 days time. Yes, newspaper advertisement. So these rights have been discussed further in this chapter. Certificate and registration of intermediaries. Obviously, if you want to connect to SEBI and stock market, there are various certificates. Obviously, you are doing certification for distributor. You can become a distributor. This is certificate and registration of intermediaries. Yes, all custodian, registrar, and transfer agent. So mutual fund regulation talks to what certification you need. Act. Transaction in mutual fund units. Obviously, you will transact in mutual fund units. You have this SIP, you can systematic withdrawal, systematic transfer, categorization. I told you 37, 11, 16, 6, 2, 2. Segregated portfolios are there. Scheme performance. So chapter 11 specifically talks about scheme performance. Benchmark. I told you what is benchmark. I showed you practical examples of everything. Okay. That how you can say it, how you can connect, what is the target of a fund manager to beat the benchmark, right? Obviously, in index fund, oh, that thing, tracking error. Yes. So index fund, since there is an expense involved, so index fund should not cannot be equal to that index. Why? Because there is a tracking error. Yes, yes. These all are there, tracking error, scheme performance. Under scheme performance, all these are covered. So this video will be helpful for you to revise if you have studied. And if you have not studied also, okay, somehow information will be given to you. And I will connect in every class I do a revision and everything. Okay. So scheme benchmark. I even discussed what is TRI, not PRI these days. What is total return index? Yes, it will consider the dividend income as well as capital appreciation. But earlier PRI only considered price change, that is capital appreciation. But now SEBI says it is not a good basis, a biased basis. TRI should be considered, whether the scheme is performing good or not. So that benchmark and all will be studied by us. Yeah. So chapter number 11 talks about basically benchmark and tracking error. After you finish unit 7 in class, we will switch to chapter 11 and okay. It will cover our major portion also because 9 10 is a lengthier chapter. Obviously, it will not take time, but 12 number chapter is somehow connected to chapter number 3, I think. So that is category of scheme and mutual fund, whether to how to choose the scheme. Okay. So we'll connect in that manner. Perfect. Next, mutual fund regulation. So if you talk about mutual fund regulation, so if you cover all this, you will cover all the laws of mutual fund regulation, like SEBI Mutual Fund Regulation 1996, any circulars issued by SEBI, okay, any circulars issued by RBI connected to money market and foreign exchange, and whatever SEBI stock exchange are generally are regulated by SEBI, secondary market mechanism. So we are restricting our video to this extent, and next video we will discuss the rest of the chapter. Okay, thank you. Yeah.